gonna bake it.
All right. Okay. 1,
2,
2,
3,
3,
4. Woo! And we said, oh, you almost just dropped it. I'm the one who dropped it.
All right, so what are we doing here? Well, this is the pumpkin patch. So we've cleared the area. I've plowed half of it and tilled half of it, and then that is just plowed. I haven't taken care of that yet. I might not need that space, so I'm gonna leave that alone for right now. It's getting late in the year, so we gotta get these pumpkins in. It might already be too late, actually. It's Memorial Day weekend, and that's it's about the deadline for planting things. So I've got 900 seeds to put in the ground, and what I've been doing is making these mounds and just putting a seed in the middle, and then 2 on this side and 2 on this side. Really 4 per mound is usually good, but I'm just throwing an extra one in the middle in case one of the 4 doesn't germinate, and then I can kind of train them to go whichever way I want that way. So I've got about 5 feet of space on this side. I've got a row of hills all the way down. They're spaced 5 feet apart, and that will allow, you know, 2 of them to grow off into this 5-foot section here, and then 2 to grow off on the other side. Now between each row, I've got a row of mounds here, and then I don't know if you can barely see a stick down there. I've got another row of mounds that come down here. There's 10 feet between the rows, so that gives each hill, you know, 5 feet of space coming in from each side for those 2 pumpkin plants to fill out this area. So I want them to be pretty dense because I want to try to keep the grass and weeds down in here as they start to grow. That's the plan anyway. And so this has been working out pretty good, but it does take some time. Each hill is just getting amended with some of our farm compost, which is a mixture of kitchen scraps and leaves and grass clippings and rabbit and goat and pig and chicken bedding and manures, and it's all been broken down for about a year. So some of it still hasn't broken down all the way, but that's fine. It'll do just fine out there. And so that's mainly the only fertilizer or feed or nutrients that we're giving the plants will be this, plus the native soil that's already out here. This is all hayfield out here, and this used to be hayfield, and there's a lot of this alfalfa in here. This alfalfa is a legume, and it does fix nitrogen, and man, does that stuff have some deep roots. You'll see if I can find most of these roots right here. This is all flipped upside down. This is roots from that alfalfa. I don't know if I can pull it through, but it's got these real deep tap roots, and that breaks the soil up really good. But the alfalfa out here in the hayfields is what does the best when it's really dry out, because it's got these real deep roots. So I think the soil out here should be pretty balanced already. It should have a pretty good amount of nutrients in it, nitrogen and other things that the pumpkins will need to grow. It's pretty good soil out here anyway, and so I don't expect that I'll need to add any extra fertilizers or nutrients throughout the year. We don't use any fertilizers here anyway, so I may amend the soil with some compost down the road, but other than that, that's pretty much all they're going to get. One thing that many of you may be asking is, what am I going to do about deer and other animals? Are they going to eat all this stuff up? Well, it's definitely a possibility. We're gonna have to come up with a plan to combat that, and I don't have a really solid answer for that. We definitely have deer out here. There's deer tracks running through here just last night. So what I'm probably gonna have to do is think about some type of fencing around this area. What I may do is just make a small pasture out of this whole area for pigs or goats or even chickens or something like that down the road. But this year, we'll see if funds are available or not. Otherwise, I may just have to set up a motion light or try to figure out some other creative ways, string with pie tins on it or something. If any of you guys have any cheap ideas, so let me know. But we're going to try to keep deer out of here. It's going to be the challenge this summer for sure. That and irrigation. Irrigation, I plan to use my 55-gallon drums, and I have a 255-gallon IBC tote that I can fill up in the back of my truck and come out here with a hose. But that's going to take some time. So I don't have a pump or anything like that to get water out here, and the hose won't reach. So water is going to be interesting this year. I've planted 75 hills so far, and so I'm about halfway there. I've used almost 400 of the seeds, and I've got approximately 900. So we'll probably be able to get at least 2 more rows in here, and then maybe a short third one, and then we'll have all of our seeds used up. All the seed that I have, I've been getting from online here, Sustainable Seed Company I found. So this is a great place to get your kind of bulk seeds. I'm not affiliated with these guys or anything like that, but it seems like some pretty good seeds. And generally for smaller stuff, we get everything from MI Gardener, of course, but for bulk things like this, I think this is only like $10 for a quarter pound. There's about 900 seeds in here, so pretty good deal. So on top of the pumpkins, we're also going to be planting some popcorn back here. I wanted to plant the popcorn far away from our sweet corn because they can cross-pollinate and it'll wreck both of them, so we don't want that. I've also got some mustard seeds I'm going to plant back here, and some gourds and other various pumpkin varieties that I had extra seed of. I'm just going to fill in this area with as much produce as I can. I've got extra tomato plants and other things from our seedling sale. We're going to plant that stuff back here, and so we're going to fill this area in with as much stuff as we can. I'm about done for today. We'll be out early in the morning to finish up. So So the seeds that I've been planting are this old Jebs from the Sustainable Seed Company. These are kind of a heritage, like old style type pumpkin, and I'm just about out of all those seeds. This was a quarter pound, so it was supposed to be about 900 seeds. We've planted 160 hills, and I've got a bunch of these other pumpkin seeds that I've had from other times. Pie pumpkins, Big Macs, some minis, some gourds, and a bunch of other jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. So what I'm going to do is just kind of make a mix of whatever I have, some seeds I saved, some big ones, and what I'm going to do, except for these, I'm going to separate the pie pumpkins because I want to make sure I know which ones these are. But what I'm going to do is just mix in all these seeds and make kind of a variety row here. We've got one last row to plant. Had planned on doing a giant pumpkin patch last year, but never got the time. I was working another job at the time, so. All right, that gives us a pretty good amount of seed to plant, we'll get this next row done. So generally, or traditionally I guess, pumpkins are always planted in hills. And so of course I'm doing that, but I actually kind of wondered why, so I had to look it up. Hills and rows, a lot of times raised rows don't make a lot of sense to me because it seems like all the water is just going to run away from where the seeds are planted. But one of the most important things when it comes to pumpkins is water, of course, but to germinate the seeds they need a lot of heat, and so creating a mound like this allows them to germinate better, apparently, because the mound heats up earlier and longer in the day. So apparently that's why we do mounds with pumpkins. 5 per hill, and we got a rain coming, so I won't have to water. I need to label this row the mystery row. I'm excited about this. Never know what's going to grow here. This will be cool. Won't know really what's growing until we start to get some fruit on these things. So the mystery row. Not sure if that was a wise idea or not, but we'll see how it turns out. Well, there you have it. Over 1,000 pumpkin plants are in here, or at least seeds. We'll see how many grow. All I have left to do out here is put in some sunflower seeds in between rows and different places. I'm just going to put them all around here along the edges and in between things. I've got some popcorn to plant and other things around here, but the pumpkin patch is completed. It looks like we have some storms rolling in, so it's perfect timing. I don't need to water. Hopefully we'll get good heavy soaking of rain across all of this, and I'll get those seeds to start germinating. So I will bring you along for caring for this, how we're going to handle watering out here away from the house, how we're going to handle animal and pest control, which I think is going to be an issue, and what we're going to use this for down the road. I'd like to incorporate some livestock into this rotation each year, and not have to plow or till this land ever again. We'll let our animals do the work next year, so that will involve some fencing and lean-to or housing and other things. Sustainability is the idea here, and natural processes, so we've got to start. Now it's time to make a system work for us here, and so we don't have to go through the trouble of preparing this much land next year. But pumpkins, lots of them, hopefully. I'm starting to hear thunder. Thumbs up on the video, guys. I'm gonna get inside. As always, thanks for watching. Have a good one.